Welcome, friends and family. Excited to be here with you today with this update with Elevate. And what we want to do is just take a quick walk to what happened in 2024, which was not amazing, and look to some projections for 2025, and especially for the generational trends, what's going to be going on next year. Going backwards, though, in 2024, we're almost to the end of this year, and it looks like projections are somewhere around maybe 3.8 to 4.1 million residential sales in 2024. 2023 and 2024 were both not great years for the real estate market as a whole. Normally, you want to see about 4.7 to 5 million or more residential sales year over year. Our market has taken a while to recover from the whole COVID episode. But we are in recovery, and thankfully, we're now past the election. And once we've been past the election, we have started to notice that the Fed is cutting interest rates and that there's more pending residential sales than in the prior months. So things are starting to go back in the right direction for this great United States. So what we want to talk about today going forward is some of the generational trends that we're going to be experiencing and what we're thinking we're going to see coming into 2025. Obviously, 2025 should be an incline market. We should start to incline and come down from this dip to a nice little incline. Projections of about 4.4 million to sell in 2025. We definitely feel like the interest rate's probably going to hover around 6%, maybe a little up, maybe a little down. And we're going to talk a little more about that as we carry on. You know, the millennial generation, that's one of the largest groups, if not the largest group right now of invested potential buyers and sellers. And they're going to be primarily buyers. Why? That millennial generation is from ages 25 to 33. And what they really are going to be looking for, which you as a millennial, if you are a millennial, what you're going to be really looking for this next 2025 is affordability. We don't want a renter nation. We don't want people renting their whole life. Guys, do you know that the average age of first-time home buyers is now 38? Last year, I think it was 34, which those ain't great. Pre-COVID, it was closer to 26. So now you take that 26 to 38, there's 12 years. In 12 years, you could have come very close to paying a house off if you had that on a 15-year note. Paying rent puts no money in your pocket. Obviously, the way to get ahead in the United States is to own a piece of the rock, to have an investment in your home. Every year, homes are going to go up generally 3 to 5% in value, and that's just in regular reoccurring markets. So it's a great place to put your money. You get a return on it. So we need to get the millennials out of rentals and into homes. And affordability is the key to that. Home prices jumped up probably in Tennessee somewhere well over 40%. Land prices still very high. The cost to develop, all that's went up so much. So the millennial generation's having a tough time, and that's the group we need to really support and help get in the game. We don't want them buying their first home at the age of 38. That's a lot of time and money just given away to renting. How are we going to do that? You know, through in the great state of Tennessee, you have what's called USDA lending. That means you can purchase a property with 100% down, with no down payment. 100%. It can be 100% finance for you with no down payment. All you'd have to pay for is the appraisal, which is going to run $300, $400, $500. A home inspection, if you choose to do one, and I think we'd always recommend doing a home inspection before you purchase a home. So, if you're thinking about buying a home this year and you're considering going down that road, give us a call. We can definitely have those discussions and put you in touch with really good lenders who can help you understand how to buy a home this year with no money down. Do you know a lot of these new builds, the builders are offering seller concessions, meaning that they will help pay and assist with the down payments. So if say the closing cost for a $300,000 home could be $7,000, $8,000, the builder's going to offer that $7,500 in concessions so that you don't have to come out of your pocket with anything, and you can basically move into a new home with no money down. A lot of times this information just is not getting out to that millennial generation. So I hope this helps. I hope this gives you some food for thought if you're in that market right now. I'd like to talk also about the Generation X. This is another large segment of our market. And this segment's going to be both buyers and sellers. They're from the ages of about 44 to 58. I'm 48. So I would fit in this Generation X. And this is a lovely group. This is a group of people that are looking at potentially upgrading. Their families have gotten a little bigger. They're looking for a little more space for the children. This is a group that's looking at investing. Investing is one really good way to get ahead. I mean, if you have the extra availability, and believe me, guys, if you are already a homeowner, and a lot of that Generation X, that 44 to 58 group, they are already homeowners. So that means you got a pretty significant boost in your real estate. It increased about 40% or better. With that being said, this group is a group that's savvy enough to know the value of investing. And so obviously there's times when you can pull equity out of your own home. People do it all the time. They do it to buy furniture. They do it to buy vehicles. They do it to buy boats. I wouldn't recommend that personally, but I wouldn't be opposed to pulling money out of your home for a down payment to buy your first rental between the ages of 44 and 58. Put that on a 15-year note. Open up the door to help somebody that may want to have a rental and in need of a rental. And in 15 years, that home is paid off. If you gave $250,000 for it, somebody else made the payment for you, and now you have what's called retirement fund. That's a pretty good retirement fund. Gosh, I'm 40, let's just say I'm 50, I'm 48, but let's just say for simple math, 50 plus 15, 65. So at the age of 65, not only would you have the home you're living in paid off, or maybe this is another good idea if you're in between that age. Maybe the first home you bought's more of a starter home. Maybe you got it paid off, rent it out. And then buy another one that when you're 65, you completely own and it's paid off and you can retire in that same home or sell it. But to see the value goes up so much, there's really no better place to put your money than in real estate. Not only do you get to use it, you get to enjoy it, but it goes up in value. See, every year that appreciation will come into play. So that home will get worth 3 to 5% more year after year. Now, if it was 2022, it could have jumped up 20% in 1 year. What a blessing for homeowners in Tennessee and really across the board. Now, guys, I want to talk to you today a little bit more about the boomers. That's a super large portion of the market, probably the second largest. And the baby boomers are ages 59 to 77. Well over half of them are going to be sellers. Very close to that number will be sellers. They're going to be downsizing. And what the boomers are really looking for is accessibility. They want to be close to shopping markets. They want to be close to town, things that are going on. They don't want to have to drive a long ways to get where they're wanting to be. Accessibility to hospitals and doctors and shopping areas. Those are all very important to that boomer group. And they want something maybe that doesn't have to be a lot of maintenance. So the new home construction market's been very good to support boomers because they can buy that home and know, hopefully, for the next decade or so, they're not going to have a lot of repairs or anything to be overly concerned with. And not a lot of maintenance. These are what the boomers are looking for. So also, I know as a boomer, you want to get the greatest value out of your home. If you're thinking about selling your home to downsize and to get into something a little smaller, then you want to maximize the sale of that home. And it's super important that you work with a true professional who will do a very good comparative market analysis for you to help determine what is the fair market value of my home currently that will give you those numbers. And then if I were selling, I'd want to be sure that I had a professional who is representing me to make sure that my best interests are at heart and that they're marketing my property. Because generally, a lot of the folks that are buying now are coming from out of state, which is wonderful. And they're coming from out of state. Maybe they've sold their home for $700,000, $800,000, $1 million, and they want to come to Tennessee and they want something that's a little more spacious, a little more cozy, maybe a little bit more landscape. And so they're able to afford your home. So a lot of these markets right now in Tennessee are being propped up by an out-of-state buyer. It's just a fact. Our price has increased a great deal. So to make sure that if you decide to sell your home, that you're working with a real estate professional that is marketing your property, making sure it's being seen in California, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Arizona, Texas, all those big states that are kind of looking to move into Tennessee, which is a phenomenal state. And we're so fortunate to be here. Guys, this year, if you want to be competitive and you're looking to buy a home, be pre-approved. Again, work with a real estate professional that has that can put you in touch with a strong lender so that you're pre-approved before you even make your offer. Why do I say that? I think the big thing that we're going to experience this year is we're going to see it settle around 6%, probably sometime throughout 2024. It's going to get settled in around 6%. But there'll be times it's going to go back up closer to maybe 6.2, 6.4. And then there's going to be times it goes down to perhaps to, maybe even below 6 a pinch. And those little percentages, a half a percentage point, can make a $100 difference on a $300,000, $400,000 purchase. It can make over $100 a month difference. So being prepared to put your offer in at the right time is so important. I can give you stories and stories about this. It's super important to be pre-approved and be ready. So when the interest rate dips down, you're not waiting. You're getting in at the best interest rate possible versus buying when it's high. It's going to be important, and you're going to see that in 2025. Also, guys, how to find what you want. It all boils down to working with a professional. And a professional, in my opinion, is somebody who has your best interest at heart, that takes time to listen and understand what your needs are so that they can help get you from point A to where you're going, your end destination. I just want to do a recap with you, just strong recap. 2024, not a phenomenal year, maybe 4.1 to 3.7 million residential home sales. We need to be seeing at least 4.7 to 5 million to be really kind of back to normal. Our prediction for 2025 is probably about 4.5 million residential sales. That could be optimistic, that could be low. Maybe we get a fire burner and the market just goes on fire. Realistically, interest rates will probably be around 6%, even though the Fed's going to continue to drop that interest rate. Does not mean the banks will lower it. Why? Because there's a good job market. The economy's healthy. They're concerned if they drop it too low, inflation will pop up. Plus, our government's using a lot of money right now, borrowing a lot of money to make investments in different areas. So they're not wanting to leak out a whole lot of money. They're wanting to use it too. It's part of the game. Generation X, guys, you all are homeowners. It's time to either buy a new home or maybe rent out the home you're in or find a first investment, because 15 years from now, you're going to be set because you made those good decisions now. And then your baby boomers, make sure you're working with folks that are going to help you get the greatest value, maximize the profit from the sale of this home so that you can take your wealth and invest it in a place that's going to be comfortable, cozy, in a good area and less maintenance for you. When we can do anything, please let us know. Hope this helps. 931-283-2312. My name's Elijah Castelli. I work with Elevate Real Estate. Thank you.